Wow, in times of today, I think a conversation. I feel आज की तारीख में कोई बातें नहीं करता.
Wow.
Very far and few good scripts come your way. You know, especially, let's say, and not to like really make it sound like I'm an outsider, but let's say as an outsider, very few opportunities come your way that someone would think, you know, you're credible enough to pull maybe a high production or a high concept project. You know, I constantly find myself going back to the drawing board, you know, especially in the moments that, you know, you have more time to think. That, you know, maybe just let me see if I can recorrect my path to get the kind of work that I would.
Hello and welcome to CNN News 18. Today we have with us somebody who has become a household name of late and has been loving us. And we love his roles as much as we have loved him off screen as well. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Karan Tacker to News 18. Karan, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you so much for having me, buddy.
It feels great to talk to you, Karan, and of the success of Special Ops, Tanvi the Great. A lot to talk about.
Yeah, actually this year has, you know, the last 2 years of my life have actually been very, very fun. They've been very interesting. I shot 3 projects in the last 2 odd years post Khaki, and simultaneously, you know, I've been working on a business front for myself, which I started a all Indian Agave spirit.
Yeah.
It's called Gunda. So I've actually been very interestingly tied up, but that's, I mean, no complaints. I'm actually really happy being this busy. Yeah, so it's just been fun. You know, Tanvi got a lot of love for the kind of film that it is. You know, especially with the kind of subject it deals with. Special Ops has been received so well, you know, with the second season that, you know, we as a team were extremely overwhelmed with the amount of views that we got so quick on, you know, for the show. Something very similar happened in the first season, but a lot of people accounted it to, you know, because you were sitting at home and just you were in COVID. But I feel like this season, you know, it's been an interesting testament.
Obviously, I mean, if it's a good script, obviously it doesn't go unnoticed, right?
And credits to the man, yeah, Mr. Pandey.
Absolutely.
Iska credit, I think, हम में से कोई ले नहीं सकता.
That is very
So this is all him.
Absolutely no doubt. But when it came to you and when you knew that this has the potential, what kind of elements did you bring into the role? Like there are stayed, and it's also something that if I would ask you, a role once you're done with a film or like a series, if it's a limited series, right? You forget the role and you forget the nuances. But if you had to pick it up from there and do it again, how was it like?
See, I feel like you never forget the nuances. You know, you never forget the human being. Like for example, Farooq Ali, for me as an actor, because ये कहीं ना कहीं आता तो मुझसे ही है. You know, you are taking your own experiences as a person, which you go through in real life, and you try to somewhere understand those emotions and you bring it to life given what the character requires.
True.
So once you do that and once you create that kind of an outline, I believe it stays with you for posterity. That doesn't go anywhere. So all it takes is to just revisit the world, and that happens, I think, very beautifully the minute you come on a set. You know, when you're reading the script, you know, you can always visualize things, you can imagine things. But I feel like the minute you come into the world of it, the physical world of it, you know, it just suddenly, you know, everything just starts coming back as a subconscious physicality of it.
True.
As far as this season is concerned, see, you know, the emotional relationships that I share with every character in the show, you know, that was something that we worked on. Or I worked on in the first season. So you know that parameter is set. Like Himmat and Farooq's equation, everyone is kind of well versed with now. So you know what tonality that has. This time the tonality is a bit more, it's a bit more tongue-in-cheek. I don't know if you've you know, got an opportunity to see the second season. But you know, you constantly find you know, Himmat pulling my leg on a lot of things, right? So I sometimes I feel like that's Mr. Pandey's way of kind of doing a tongue-in-cheek with me, because he knows how I am as a person. So yeah, you know, you work on those new factors, you try to bring those to life in a different way, because also see, the thing is, he's eventually a RAW agent, right? True. So when you're in that wing, even if you've got, let's say, tongue-in-cheek humor, you know, it can't be very on the nose. It's got to be interesting. So you work on an undercurrent of that. This season was very, very heavy on action for me, and the general tonality of the way Special Ops is shot is in a very, it's kept in a very real scenario, right? True. It's meant to look real. So you'll not see a lot of, you'll never see actually flips and tricks. Like, you know, you won't suddenly see someone going back flipping and going crazy and kicking people. It is a lot of hand-to-hand combat. It is exactly what probably would happen if an agent was in field, let's say, with a bad guy. So keeping that tonality, you know, learning action, you know, preparing for it, And of course, you have people usually tend to assume that action does not have emotion, but that is so far from the truth because
it looks very choreographed, but obviously not.
Otherwise, it looks very choreographed.
Yeah.
The minute you don't put emotion in it, or a thought behind it, or a backstory, or eventually where is this action meant to lead, I feel like it can look very, very manicured.
Right.
And that's exactly what you try not to do. So all of that takes a lot of preparation, but it's a lot of fun, man. It's so much fun. The preparation for an actor, I feel like is the most exciting part.
That's true.
Before you get on set, because you're nurturing thoughts, you're marinating thoughts in your head. You're trying to create a world. Maybe inside a studio or inside your mind, or so most of the times as actors, I think we're just silently sitting. We don't even, I wouldn't even probably have a script in my hand, but you're just constantly marinating thoughts, and that's a very, very, it's a very exciting process. It keeps you gives you sleepless nights. So I feel like, that's the kind of preparation that went into it, and I'm glad that it panned out beautifully, and people have accepted the show.
Absolutely, no doubt.
In the kind of numbers that they have.
No doubt. We also see a lot of layers being, technically your character being evolving in the series as well, in the second season as well. When you got to know that this character has these kind of layers as well, and we see the kind of emotions that you put out, how much of Karan Tacker is in that? In Farooq Ali, if I may ask you, in those emotions?
Like I was telling you earlier, as an actor, more often if not, you're trying to find real lived experiences, and you're trying to take the residue of that, and you try to fit it into the world of the character and the show or the product that you're a part of. So I think a lot of everything that you see in any of my work, be it Khaki, be it any of the special ops or any of the shows, or the television shows that I've done, it's actually a lot of me, but it's a lot of me not as Karan. It's a lot of me in terms of how I understand life, my understanding of life, and using that experience and creating a character. So the good, the bad, the ugly, everything that you see is actually is maybe a lived experience of some kind, to some tonality that you try to bring on screen. Otherwise, what happens is this is my personal belief on acting, that I feel like otherwise you're imitating an emotion, and that ends up looking like an imitation because it's not a lived experience.
Right.
So, for an example, let's say if I had to play a scene where in an interview the interviewer just suddenly came out of nowhere and just slapped me for something I said physically, but if I've never been through that. I don't mean like physically been through maybe a slap. I mean, if I've been through a slap, better yet. But at least some kind of a heat.
Right.
I would know what that probably feels like. Otherwise, we as actors will be trying to backtrack from what an emotion needs to feel.
Yeah.
And I feel like that sometimes goes slightly far from the truth.
Right. In terms of romance on screen, okay, and
it's all lived experiences.
Thank you.
Or whatever you see is all.
No doubt. But how do you stay away from that whole line of not being cringe and yet putting out the right emotion?
I think when you're not trying too hard.
Okay.
You don't end up being cringe, and of course there's a very, very thin line because also what happens, what I've also learned with being on the job. Is that the minute the camera comes this close to you, right? Even a slight, like for example, I have a very bad habit of constantly doing this to my lips, right? If I did that on a screen, talking to a girl, it could look so wrong, right? It would look like, like you're giving that kind of a vibe. So, you just have to be cognizant of that. You've got to underplay it. I feel like the less you do, the more honest it ends up looking.
Okay.
Because that's how we are in real life, right? If I was with somebody that I was probably I was attracted to, I would find it tough to really express it maybe, verbally, or let's say, with a physical gesture. And that's what life is. Life is a little imperfect. It's very, you're always thinking before doing. So I feel like when you take those small things into consideration, it ends up looking not so cringe.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you apply that in real life as well?
To not look cringe? Yeah.
But what is the way to your heart?
Apply what in real life?
Like if supposedly if somebody was to woo you, or probably just figure out the way to Karan's heart, what would it be like?
Wow, in times of today, I think a conversation. I feel आज की तारीख में कोई बातें नहीं करता.
Wow.
I feel like बातों से ही तो बातें बनती हैं. I feel like even at the times that let's say if I end up going out with somebody, more often if not, we've come in a time where everyone is just, you're having a battle of opinions. It's not a conversation that grows. I feel like it's not a conversation to learn each other. It's a conversation to prove each other. I feel like, that's the tonality of today, given social media. We've all become, I feel like there's more information, less education.
That's true.
Because of social media. Because, we all end up just reading that one line on a meme and we think that, that's the way things are. So I feel like in times of today, if you truly had to woo me, try to learn me and let me learn you over a chat, that would be the best.
Women?
Yeah.
Please not.
Yeah, man. Please not. Yeah. I could really use a nice date.
But you need a break as well, right? Like, when was the last time you took a break? Like, how does it feel?
From dating?
Yeah. No. Overall, it was working.
I was like, well, okay, I don't know. I've been on a break for a very long time, I think.
But in general, have you thought about having just a lazy day?
No, यार, मेरा उल्टा है. पहली बात तो, honestly speaking, मैं वैसे भी एक प्रोजेक्ट एक साल में करता हूँ. तो मेरा वो उतना हो ही जाता है कि I feel like I get, I'll tell you honestly what happens is very far and few good scripts come your way. Especially, let's say, and not to like really make it sound like I'm an outsider, but let's say as an outsider, very few opportunities come your way that someone would think, you're credible enough to pull maybe a high production or a high concept project. So given those options, you try to find the best.
Okay.
That process in itself takes a lot of time. So that's my off time, right. I'm not really filming at that time. So that naturally, organically becomes a break. And then you get into pre-production. Honestly, I'm the happiest working. I'm also in that point in my life that अगर आप मेरे को छुट्टी पे भेज दोगे ना कहीं, तो मैं दूसरे दिन यही सोच लूँगा अब खाली बैठ के क्या करेंगे, अब कितना खाना खाओगे, अब कितना बाहर घूमोगे, कितना शहर देख लोगे. For me to now just sit idle is a bit difficult, and maybe that's the kind of professional space I'm in mentally. I'm enjoying working, so I love the idea of my routine. I have a set routine even on a day off, which is which we actors get way more than what we work, right? And I enjoy that routine. So for me, actually being mentally occupied and having a sense of purpose is being busy, and it's being happy, and it's a sense of holiday. On a holiday, I feel like I'm more anxious, thinking, what am I going to do the whole day? Is why for me holidays are the best when you go somewhere when you're filming a little bit. तो आपने 3-4 दिन काम करो, आपको एक दिन छुट्टी मिल जाती है, आप उस एक दिन में थोड़ा शहर देख लोगे, थोड़ा आराम कर लोगे, you'll go to maybe a restaurant, chill, have a few drinks. I could do that, but I think now just to go on a holiday somewhere, I would be quite painful to take.
No, you rightly pointed out as well. Probably people also don't realize when people see you say, probably I do one project a year, probably. But like you said, the process of getting something good is also something that people don't understand, right? So how do you kind of balance that? Do you also feel at times कि यार शायद कि काम नहीं आ रहा, तो you feel कि did I do something wrong? Or do you have those days where you feel a little low? How do you deal with that?
100%, yeah. I constantly find myself going back to the drawing board, especially in the moments that, you have more time to think. That, maybe just let me see if I can recorrect my path to get the kind of work that I would. And that happened actually post Khaki especially. Because what happened is that when Khaki released, I don't know, if you're aware, the Hindi film industry and entertainment just went through a recession, right? If they were making, assumingly, let's say 10 projects in a year, it reduced to literally 4. So there was just that much work left, and that was being, bifurcated in a lot of sectors with, different kinds of actors. So that's when I really went back to the drawing board, thinking that, okay, you know what, I did this massive show for Netflix. It's done so well. This was my, first outing post Special Ops as headlining a show, with, of course, with Avinash. That made, do I need to recorrect my path? And you have those moments, and you do that, and whether it results in positive thinking, or sometimes you really go back to thinking maybe I need to, sit with other people to understand if I'm going right or wrong. You tend to do that, like any profession. मतलब हर बंदा अपने काम में कोई ना कोई, you find a confidant.
That's true.
जिससे आप थोड़ी बात कर सकते हो, जिससे आप थोड़ा सा समझ सकते हो कि क्या मैं सही path पे हूँ. And then people guide you with their best knowledge of what they understand of it. And yeah, you do that, and of course, you have your down moments when, like for example, when Special Ops, we shot this in, we're in 2025. We shot this 2023.
Okay.
Right? Now since 2023, and I had a release for Khaki, It was 2021, 22.
22.
So in 22, Khaki released. In 23, I shot Special Ops. And it released in 25. So technically in 2 years, I've not had a release. Yeah. So it's in those 2 years, while you're sitting back and working, you're constantly anxious of, mera kaam kab aayega? Mujhe log kab dekhenge? So that those days feel a little tough. They feel tough on you.
But I understand. I think, and I mean, with time, obviously, we loved seeing Tanvi and Special Ops releasing at the same day as well.
Thank you. I would have loved it. Now, this is what happened. Now, this is the second thing that gives you stress. मेरा जो 2 साल का काम था वो एक ही दिन निकला है.
That's true.
तो मैंने मतलब while of course it's not a full-fledged role in Tanvi, but whatever I did in Tanvi, the fact that I shot Bhay, all of that is now just coming all together in a crunch period of 6 months. So while that's great because as an actor you're like, oh fine, I'll be relevant in a good 6 months, but I would have loved it if it trickled at least one, like if I'm attempting doing one project a year, at least it releases as one project a year as well. So my endeavor this year is to do more than one project a year because I feel like you need to have more eggs, out in that basket.
No, but do you think that after Special Ops or after Tanvi or after even Khaki, the offers that have come to you have changed, or do you think that probably you're getting fixated in certain roles?
I got a lot of offers for Men in Uniform post Khaki, and that's actually what happened. The bulk of the work that came my way was again for a cop. And I don't think I was ready to play a cop again so soon. So yes, I did get a lot of quality work. I did not want to play a cop because also, the kind of cop that I played was was a real person. We tried to keep the tonality also very real. The scale, the pitching was really, to that note. Now, had it been a filmy cop, wearing tight clothes and all of that, then you could kind of, create another cop character. But I feel like once you give it a real tonation, then even you have to take a good break to kind of play a cop again because you're etched in people's memory as IPS Amit Lodha,
True.
So I got a lot of cop roles, I got a lot of army roles. I ended up doing one which was, so yes, there's a certain perception change that most definitely has happened. And it's, I've realized with this industry, it's like the chicken and egg story. That if you want to get a certain kind of work, you have to first go out there and do it.
Yeah.
So I don't know how that works, right? So if I need to keep headlining shows to prove it to another maker that I can do that, I technically need to headline a show.
That's true.
So it's so difficult to kind of you get what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
मतलब कि अगर आप हीरो लीड बनना चाहते हो तो आपको बनने के लिए पहले करना पड़ेगा। वो करने के लिए आपको ढूंढना पड़ेगा। वो कैसे होगा कैसे? बिकॉज आप किसी से तो मांगोगे ना कि सर मुझे काम दे दो। तो वो मेरे करियर में बड़ा ज्यादा हो रहा है। तो मेरे पास बहुत काम आया है, मैंने काम किया भी है। मैं जो चीज़ें मुझे एक्साइटिंग लगती हैं पढ़ने के लिए, मुझे वो करने में बड़ा मजा आता है। आई फील लाइक बिकॉज एज एक्टर्स सबसे जो मजेदार चीज़ है वो तो फिल्मिंग है। You have to kind of pick a project that you're going to enjoy doing.
That's true.
And I don't mean enjoy like have a laugh. I mean like it's got to be the right kind of a challenge. It's got to be a story of a human being that you truly want, you feel like telling. And something that you feel like you might be bringing justice to. So, you pick your projects like that.
I understand.
And I've been fortunate that, I've gotten the kind of work that has come my way. And I'm really looking forward to, my next release, which is Bhay. Which is based on this real guy called Gaurav Tiwari.
Yes.
And, he was India's first paranormal investigator, very, very celebrated gentleman. I actually didn't know about him until I, got the show offered. And I'm really happy to kind of, tell his truth and his story. And I'm really, really looking forward for people to see that.
No doubt. Absolutely. I as much as I'm waiting to see the whole filming and the whole idea of how it's unfolding, how was it for you to know that guy? Tell us about, did you have such eerie feelings when you met him?
I actually never meet Gaurav, because Gaurav passed away.
I know. Didn't, so this didn't come to you before that?
No. So Gaurav passed away a long time ago, unfortunately. And, he passed away in a very short span of his career as a paranormal investigator, which was 8 years. And he died at the age of 32. So, his journey has been very interesting, and that's what actually really clicked with me as a one-liner, because he's a guy from Delhi, comes from a decently well-to-do family, came to Bombay to become an actor. He couldn't crack the whole rigmarole that we all go through. Eventually ended up learning how to fly, went to the United States, got his flying license. Wow. He had a paranormal incident on one of his flights, is how he got intrigued. Let go of flying, learned the metaphysical world, and came back and he practiced it in India. And he was largely celebrated across the world. People called him in like different sectors to kind of, get answers to paranormal activities that are happening. And unfortunately, one day died a mysterious death in his bathroom. So that's the story, and that is why I felt like, it's something that I really feel like telling.
So did you have any goosebumps during the shoot?
Through and through, man. I have to tell you, this has been my most difficult filming experience because one, horror, or actually horror is the wrong way to put it,
Paranormal, yeah.
Obviously deals with a lot of nights. So just shooting extensive nights in really strange locations because that's the kind of work that he did, right? So we've taken real incidents and we've curated the show around that. Was not easy, man, and just because when you're playing a real character and when especially he deals with something that's paranormal, you're constantly in a very different state of mind. Because that he died also mysterious death. That his death is left inconclusive. So it does end up playing on your mind that, like, I'm not joking about it. My biggest fear was that I hope nothing paranormal happens around me. You are dealing with that. Whether you believe it or not. I feel like that the fear of the unknown is always there. So I mean, maybe it sounds childish to say, but I had a lot of sleepless nights because of that.
I understand.
And there's so many, there's so much that has happened on set that it's left all of us quite uncomfortable.
Okay.
And I think it would be the best to talk about it around that time.
Around that time, no doubt. Of course.
But yeah, it's been a sort of a very interesting experience, eerie nonetheless.
No doubt. Yeah. I remember during the promotions of Tanvi as well, I had asked you, and we had spoken about a biopic that you might be doing.
Yeah.
So
actually, I think too soon.
I was really hoping I get an answer for this.
Too soon, man.
But I understand, but no doubt. But but before I let you go, Karan, I have a few rapid fire questions, if I may say so. So we'll quickly start, okay? Whatever comes to your mind first.
Okay.
If you had to replace a gym trainer with a Bollywood villain, who would get you in shape while yelling at you, and how?
With a Bollywood villain?
Yeah.
Who would keep yelling at me? Oh God.
To get you in shape, of course.
Damn, from the top of my mind, I can't think of anyone. But I think Amrish Puri would be, late Amrish Puri would be very, very interesting to do that.
Okay. And if that's the case, if your abs could talk, what would they say?
Actually, Gabbar would be the best because with that belt in his hand, anyone would be scared to be smacked.
Okay. In that case, with Gabbar as your trainer, if your abs had to talk, what would they say?
Kitne biscuit hai?
Okay. You've played intense characters. Ever tried method acting to be lazy?
To be lazy? Yeah. Oh, very well. I'm a Taurian. I'm exactly like how you see a bull just laying in the sun and just doing nothing. I'm an extreme, either extremely lazy, like I don't want to move out of bed,
right,
kind of person, or I'm just really active.
Okay. If there was a crime series based on your life, what would the first plot twist be?
Unspecial ops.
Okay, be honest, okay? Ever used a TV charm to get out of a random situation?
Have you ever used?
TV charm to get out of a random situation?
A TV charm?
Yeah.
Like as in?
Your TV charm, like your fame and your TV charm.
Always. I've played the actor card so many times in my life.
One situation.
If let's say if I'm flying economy,
right,
and I don't want to stand in the line, I'll suddenly put on my glasses and I behave like an actor and I'll walk into the business line. So I've done that time and again.
Okay. What's more emotionally draining, filming a dramatic scene or pretending to like someone's bad script idea at a party?
Oh, wow. I think filming a dramatic scene would be tougher.
Okay, to pretend is easier.
Yeah, the pretend is much easier.
Okay, what's the weirdest fan message you've got so far?
Weirdest fan message? I recently did an interview in which I said that I'd love to, someone asked me that would you date a fan? And I was like, why not? Fan's also just a human being. And there was another interview where I said that I'm dying to be married, which both are true. Yeah. I've had so many marriage requests in my inbox
DMs?
Post that, and I'm not even joking. I'm actually looking at it also very seriously.
Take note again, women.
And I'm like, why not? Yeah, why not? If someone is actually ready to kind of get hitched with me, this would not be a very bad proposal.
Okay, the last question. If your reflection started talking back to you, okay, what was the first thing it will blurt out to people?
That stop staring at yourself.
On that note, Karan, thank you so much. It was lovely chatting with you.
Thank you, man.
And we'll catch up for sure during and probably during the biopic as well, which I'm yet to know. So yeah.
Yes, for sure.
कोशिश तो जारी रहेगी मेरी तरफ से
हाँ, अरे जरूरत नहीं पड़ेगी, एक वक्त पर तो हम ही आपको बुलाएंगे बात करने।
for sure. But thank you, Karan. Thank you so
man.
much.
Thank you so much. Hi, I'm Karan Tacker and you're watching me on News 18 Showsha.